Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and today is a big day for crypto, not just because of this new pattern that's forming in the price of Bitcoin, but because of the Ethereum Merge, which is coming up in just a few hours. So I'll be talking more about that later in the video alongside the Bitcoin and Ethereum charts as always, so definitely stick around. First of all, just giving you a quick update on the US stock market. This right here is the Nasdaq 100 index on the daily time frame, and over the last one day, we've seen a small bounce from the golden pocket level of support, which was coming into play at around 12,000 approximately. And considering the fact that the stock market and the crypto market are heavily correlated, meaning that if the stock market dumps, we're very likely to see a dump in crypto, or if the stock market pumps, we're very likely to see a major pump in crypto. And so when you consider that, obviously it is a good sign to see the Nasdaq 100 index continue finding support at this important Fibonacci level of support. Because while the stock market is finding some short-term support, the price of Bitcoin is also finding some short-term support, which I'll talk about in just a moment on the short-term timeframes. But first, just quickly updating you here on the daily Bitcoin chart, and we still have this active bullish divergence in play. And at least as of right now, we haven't yet seen a bearish cross in the daily Bitcoin MACD. So even though bullish momentum has been declining over the last couple days, at least as of right now, we haven't yet confirmed a bearish reversal into another bearish trend, because technically we're still forming higher highs, whether you're looking at these highs or these highs, and we're also forming some higher lows as of recording this video. And our important range of support here on the daily time frame is this range right here, which is coming into play in between 18,500 and 19,000. So that is the important range of support that Bitcoin needs to hold above, because if the price of Bitcoin confirms a break below around 18.5k, then that could trigger another leg to the downside. But what we also need to consider is the fact that on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, we still have an active bullish divergence in play right here as well. And in case you're new to this channel, a bullish divergence basically means we're due to see reduced bearish momentum, which can either play out in the form of choppy sideways price action or more of a bullish reversal, similar to what we saw last year. But when we're looking at the 3-day Bitcoin chart, this is all looking at the much larger moves in the market, talking about the multi-month long moves. And so if we want to know what could happen in the shorter term, we need to take a look at some smaller timeframes like the 4-hour Bitcoin chart. And as I've recorded in this video, the price of Bitcoin has seen one 4-hour candle close slightly below the golden pocket level of support, although the current 4-hour candle is experiencing a bounce from the golden pocket, which means we are still finding support at that golden pocket range right there, which by the way is coming to play at pretty much around 20,000. So $20,000 per Bitcoin is still the important level of support in the short term to pay attention to. Anything below that, then I would expect support at around 19,500, and anything below that, I would expect support down at this local low at around 18,500. But like I said in my last video that I posted yesterday on the channel, usually after we experience a volatile move to the downside like this, we have some time in the shorter term, as in over the next couple of days or so, where we basically see the Bitcoin price play out choppy sideways price action to essentially stabilize and help reset the RSI and things like that. Because as of right now, the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI is still pretty close to oversold territories, but we didn't actually enter into oversold territory. So technically speaking, we still have some room to the downside in the shorter term, but that room to the downside is somewhat limited, which is why I said yesterday, and I'm saying it again today, that the most likely scenario just in the immediate short term is most likely going to be some choppy sideways price action, perhaps until the Ethereum Merge, which could stir up some more volatility. And now, if you zoom in a little bit further into the 3-hour Bitcoin chart, what we have here is a bullish divergence that's forming right now. Obviously, lower lows in the Bitcoin price, but higher lows in the 3-hour RSI basically means that the bears are losing momentum in the immediate shorter term. So basically, we're losing some of that downwards momentum. And once again, after a bullish divergence, we most commonly play out either choppy sideways price action or a slight bullish recovery. But I want to make it clear that this is all talking about the immediate short term, because this is only on the 3-hour time frame, for example, and it's not even visible on the 4-hour time frame, which means this bullish divergence on the 3-hour Bitcoin chart is most likely going to play out over the coming hours, maybe over the coming days, depending on the Ethereum Merge once again. And something very interesting that's happening right now is the funding rate across multiple different exchanges are turning very negative, especially for Ethereum. So first of all, looking at the Bitcoin funding rate across the majority of exchanges, they are currently slightly in the negative, so just below zero. But considering the fact fact that they're only just below zero when it comes to the Bitcoin funding rate, that isn't too significant when it comes to Bitcoin. But if you're looking at the Ethereum funding rate, right now they are extremely negative. On some exchanges, the funding rates for Ethereum are reaching over negative 0.3% and even close to negative 0.4% on some exchanges. And in case you're new to all of this, those sort of funding rates are extremely negative. We don't see those sort of funding rates very often. And basically what this means is that when the funding rates are extremely negative for Ethereum, for example, that means that the price of ETH on the derivatives market is trading at a slight discount to the spot market, which basically means there's a lot of people trying to short Ethereum right now. And the further these funding rates go into negative territory, the more expensive it becomes to maintain a short position. Because basically, if the funding rates are negative, then the short positions have to pay the long positions, whatever the funding rate is, usually every 8 hours. But if the funding rates are positive, then it's the other way around. The long positions would have to pay the short positions. And so basically right now, leading up to the merge, there's a lot of people trying to short Ethereum, and it's actually becoming quite expensive to short Ethereum, especially if the price is obviously not going to the downside. If the price is just going sideways, then even in that scenario, anyone shorting Ethereum is losing quite a bit of money due to these funding rates. And so this is actually one major ingredient for a potential short squeeze if the price of ETH stops going to the downside and we see a bit of a rebound from support, for example. That could help trigger a short squeeze, considering there's a lot of people trying to short Ethereum right now. But anyway, just before jumping into the Ethereum chart, first talking about the Ethereum Merge, which is coming up in just a few hours. And if you're new to this channel and you have no idea what the merge is, then check out my last video that I posted yesterday on the channel, because I talked a little bit more about the merge in that video. But basically, the Ethereum Merge will take Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake, which means after the merge takes place, you can no longer mine Ethereum with mining hardware, and instead you can stake ETH, which is essentially locking up your ETH and earning rewards. And also the Ethereum Merge massively decreases Ethereum's electricity consumption, because obviously you don't need to run all of that mining hardware anymore. And on top of that, after the merge takes place, the inflation rate of ETH, so the amount of new ETH that are being produced, will decrease, kind of like a Bitcoin halving. And depending on Ethereum's network activity, the supply of ETH could potentially become deflationary if there's a lot of network activity. So for example, during a bull market when everyone's moving around their coins and NFTs and all of that. And that is due to the EIP 1559 upgrade to Ethereum that happened last year, which essentially burns a large portion of Ethereum gas fees. And so at the same time as that burn happening, which reduces the supply of ETH, we're also reducing the amount of ETH being produced after the merge. So the long-term effects of the merge are extremely bullish for Ethereum over the long term, as in the coming years. But keep in mind, when the merge actually takes place, it could act as a sell the news event, considering the massive amount of hype that's building up in recent months. And of course, that's not the only potential risk. For example, there could be some sort of error or bug with the merge. And even though that might be a very low chance of happening, it's still a possibility that needs to be considered, and still a risk that needs to be considered. And so it's very likely in the short term, in the coming hours leading up to the merge, and especially as the merge happens, it's very likely there's going to be a lot of volatility in the price of ETH. So personally, I would stay out of any high leveraged Ethereum positions, because we're likely going to see some liquidations today. And if you want to stay updated with the Ethereum Merge, you can always just look up on Google Ethereum Merge countdown, and there's multiple countdowns like this, or you can follow me over on Twitter with notifications turned on to get real-time updates throughout the day. And by the way, you can find a link to my Twitter in the description down below, and also in the pinned comment. But anyway, now jumping into the Ethereum chart, this right here is the daily Ethereum to US dollar chart. And right now, the price of ETH is currently experiencing a bounce from this important ascending line of support that has been drawn ever since the June low. And this line of support is sitting at around 1560 approximately. So it is important for the price of ETH to remain above that level. Otherwise, we essentially break this bullish structure. And in that case, if Ethereum breaks this bullish structure and starts forming some lower lows, then I'll be looking at our Fibonacci retracement tool from the June swing low up to this swing high at around 2000. And basically, if Ethereum breaks that upward trending line of support, then I would expect some support potentially down towards around 1430 approximately, where we do have these previous lows, and that's also sitting pretty close to this 50% retracement level. But anything below that, and I'll be looking towards the golden pocket level of support support, which was acting as some previous resistance back here, so it does have further significance, and that is sitting at around 1.3k. But for as long as the price of ETH is remaining above this upwards trending line of support, obviously this is technically a bullish structure forming higher lows. And now zooming into the shorter term, taking a look at the 4-hour Ethereum chart, right now the price of ETH is experiencing a bounce from the golden pocket level of support when drawn from this swing low at around 1420 to the swing high at around 1800. And so obviously seeing a bounce from the golden pocket is a good sign to see for Ethereum in the short term. And in case you're new to this channel, this golden pocket level of support in the short term is sitting at around 1550 to 1560. But if we break that level just in the short term, we could find some support down here at around 1.5k, and below that we could find some more short-term support at around 1420 to 1430. And as for some short-term levels of resistance, we still have this level right here, which is sitting at around 1650. Anything above that, and I'll be looking towards around 1.7k, and anything above that, and I'll be looking towards around 1.8k as our short-term resistance levels. And also keep an eye on the 4-hour Ethereum price oscillators. For example, the RSI is beginning to flip more bullish again, as it is forming some higher lows and higher highs after almost experiencing oversold territories. And looking at the 4-hour Ethereum MACD, we're seeing a lot of reduced bearish momentum. So obviously after all of that recent bearish momentum, the bears are currently getting exhausted in the market as the histogram moves up towards the zero line. And obviously if it crosses above zero, then that's also known as a bullish cross, like what we saw back here. And so as we're potentially getting closer towards a bullish cross, that is something important to keep in mind, because obviously that would be another bullish confirmation signal in the short term. And if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is going up, down, or just chopping around sideways, either way you can make money in crypto by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left of your screen shows you how to make money if the price is going either up or down, and the video in the bottom left of your screen shows you how to make money if the price is chopping around sideways. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video.